Hey, can you hear it? Be it by night or by day, these cobblestone streets and these pedestrian malls running via the old town are always full of life. Whether you're grabbing a cold beer upon the main square, or itching on the tram to get to school, or rushing to your high-ranking government job, or simply going to enjoy a walk down on the shopping street, just stop. Take in the views. This is the life of Concordia's old town. Hi guys, welcome to my channel Lunatic Place. I'm the Lunatic who plays City Skylines 2, and we're back to the one and only old town of inner city center of Concordia. We finally bring this grand adventure to an end as we finalize these winding streets with a touch of beauty. Today, we're finally kissing our inner old town goodnight. Alas, by the end of today, we will be done with the old town. But what a journey it was. I am so glad to see it coming together and also so excited to move on to the next steps of our grand design. I really can't wait to see how it all is going to come together in the end. So first things first, as we look upon the skyline, I think we have a beautiful shape emerging here, but obviously something is missing. And that would be an ungodly amount of churches on like every second corner, right? That would be correct. And trust me, I do keep that in mind. I researched and looked at other creators' machinations in conjoining buildings to get their patchwork churches for their European builds, but I have this itch and it's a real effing problem. So get real with me, hunty, for a moment, okay? I am a bit of a perfectionist, and it's so hard to overlook the little issues in my build as is. And what issues, you ask? Well, none, of course. It's Concordia. It's perfect. But no, really, there's little flaws here and there when you move its buildings together to create irregular shapes, for sure, but making a whole damn church out of pieces which don't match together and are rarely recolorable seems like a nightmare to me. I do really love the creativity of other creators, but I would also kind of feel bad if I was going to steal their entire design. So quietly, when it comes to churches, I am sort of just waiting for the asset mods. I honestly learned how to be a patient person. I don't mind to just believe until then that Concordia is a deeply secular city. I mean, yes, we will have the Notre Dame Cathedral on the other island, but hey, look, where else are we gonna sacrifice all the babies, right? All in all, we keep the religious worship to a minimum till mods come out, and then we can begin to think about praising the Lord. I don't mind to revisit our current spaces to bring churches in once they're out. How deeply ironic. So let's have a look at our plan and where we're at here. Okay, so today we are building 6 through 10. Step 6 is our Parliament Parking and West District, where our architectural style will shift a little bit. The area surrounding the Parliament I sort of wish to build out using mainly the French style buildings. I just think that the light colors of them will go well with the Diet building, which is meant to be our Parliament here. The number 7 is going to be our pedestrian mall with food stalls, shops and tram tracks running right through the heart of our old town commercial district. This is the beating heart of our old town. Numbers 8, 9 and 10 are going to be pretty repetitive, so we will skim over them with some real nice transition footage. And finally, to make this come to life, I want to implement the tram line running through our key old town spots and taking the views with you guys. over some beautiful shots of this area. So, okay, come, let's build something beautiful today. Okay, let's begin with our multi-story parking lot servicing the government building down by the quay. I opted in here to use the actual multi-story parking asset, which came with the base game, since we got exactly the amount of space that it requires, so I guess that's one happy coincidence. We need to position it just right. I wanted to have it leaning exactly against the buildings lining the street at the back, to have a more uniform block here, so I got it. We also are left with this little bit of space at the front now, which is just enough to introduce a little one-directional slip lane offering access to the parking lot. It seems that this will be a rather unique zone, but I really like it. Next up, we go in with the primary detailing pattern. So that means we introduce our curbs, align them onto all of our roads, making sure that those curb contour lines are lining all of our streets in this district. Then we move on to our cobblestone streets. I am foreseeing that this whole area will be made up of cobblestone roads, and that includes the Parliament district. Sidewalks are next. We continue on designing here using the concrete, brick and mossy sidewalk surface network. I actually ended up changing the slip lane to one with sidewalks, so we have a little bit more pedestrian accessibility here in this area. Then I introduced grass onto our green spaces just to make it pop all the more. And don't forget to cobblestone those courtyards behind our old buildings, as we will be detailing in there later on too. I enjoy using these black and white fences to line up some of my green spaces. I think they offer a nice level of intimacy and separation to our green zones. We introduce our decals next: drains, gutters and planters. Generally, I like to keep some symmetry in how I am placing them. This makes it easier to cover large swaths of areas in this way. Now we will line up our lamps. I am using the in-game line tool with 10 meters separation between them, and I am using a variety of single and double side lamps. The double ones came from a mod which you can get off my mod list in the Concordia pack, which is available in the link down below in the description underneath this video. Since we're lining things up, let's go ahead and do our bollards next. Again, I'm using the in-game line tool with 3 meters of spacing between them and line pretty much all of my streets. I later recolor them, which I just discovered that I can select an option to recolor all of the same asset a given color, which makes my life so much easier. You just have to select the icon with the 2 squares on it and then recolor it, and voila! Magic! Incredible! I love it! Okay, so now for the graffiti. I love a good mural, so these are the main ones I sort around my town. Here we have an interesting pattern with the different levels on the parking lot, which creates an even more interesting design for our graffiti. And next up, let's do our 8 yards behind the French mixed-use assets. I thought that the back of the buildings was possibly a better spot for these, as the space here had a more unique shape, giving us the opportunity to line out our beer gardens all that nicer. Just look at it. I also went in and used the awkward shape behind the parking lot to do a little bit of a trash zone here too. Then we go in with our courtyards. These are pretty tight, but they still will do well with some bike racks, planters, bins and clothing racks. And now we're bringing it home with fine-tuning our detailing. I placed some planters, benches and beams on my wide sidewalks, offering a great resting spot for my citizens to enjoy. It's also right in front of the school, so parents could be waiting here to pick their kids up. Next, I like to place these little planters all around my doorways. I think flowers add a nice little something to our town and makes it all the more, dreamier. And we conclude the zone with bushes, shrubs and trees, which just breathe a breath of fresh air to our streets, offering shade and life to our town. And here it is. Now, let's move on to our pedestrian mall, the beating heart of our old town. This will be a zone where everything happens, from street food to commerce to public transport running right through it, offering connections between both our iconic squares. So, let's begin with curbs, ensuring to line out our tram lines and pedestrian streets, and even the streets which surround this whole area. Next, we go in with our sidewalks. It's a pretty good blend of vehicle-accessible cobblestone roads, regular sidewalks, and the future sandstone slab pedestrianized streets. And while on the topic of cobblestone, let's go ahead and line it all around our streets and tram lanes. Then we go in and create our sandstone slab pedestrian streets using this gorgeous sandstone slab surface network. I also include here a gutter running down the middle to offer ways of draining rainwater. The pedestrian streets have these connector pieces where the streets intersect, and due to how the surface network spawns at different angles, it would look awkward if we had one next to another, so we use this UK-style yellow brick surface network on these pieces, which sort of makes these streets pop all the more. Next, we cover our green spaces with this lush green grass surface network, which makes it look a little bit more alive. Then I line these green spaces with the white and black fence net lane. And finally, for the surface, decals are up next. Drains on gutters, drains on roads, and planters on sidewalks is the pattern here. Now that our surfaces and net lines are done, we can move on to props. Still using the line tool, we line our streets with bollards galore. Seriously though, now I feel like I'm just flying through this, being able to recolor them all instantly with the recolor tool. Still using the line tool, I line the streets with our standard street lamps to make sure that the city is well lit at night. And I noted your comments, my dear viewer, Melody. Night city shots are abound, so just keep on watching, they're coming. We followed these up with the old-looking ironwork lamplights, wherever it seemed like something's lacking. I have this pattern where I like to line the space between the tram lines with them, just makes it look all the more elegant. Okay, we're wrapping this baby up now. Planters on doorways are up next. Here we have so many interesting irregularly shaped spaces which fit these intimate, beautiful planter and bench spots where citizens can sit down, take in the view, maybe have a doner kebab, ice cream or hot dogs. Well, while on that note, let's give our city's heart some of my personal favorite things, aka the street food! I put these food stalls all around this zone, recoloring them all sorts of colors so that the whole place looks happy and colorful and distinct. We close this off with shrubs and flowers and trees upon our green zones. We're giving life, we're giving shade, we're giving the Garden of Eden. And here it is. finally, we complete zones 8, 9, and 10, which involved a lot of repetition, yes. But even though we repeated all of the steps we had learned detailing elsewhere, we still managed to bring some really cool, unique little nooks and corners to our city. I really got it in my head to remember parking, so I ensured to include as many parking lots as I had the space for, and to be honest, I think we got enough to accommodate this entire old town. At Zone 8, I really love A, the parking lot, but B, this cute little half-circle fountain at one of the squares, one of the corners. This is possibly more of a Mediterranean influence than Central European, but I had the idea and I just had to go with it. Zone number 9 is mostly more of the same, however it is also the spot where our tram stops, offering access to the pedestrian commercial core of our old town, is located. Zone 10 is probably my favorite of the three. I love these Eastern European commercial buildings with the wee archway down the middle and the wee street corner beer garden. I feel like this is one of those quiet, underrated bars of our town where you would definitely find me hanging out at. All in all, this entire area completes our Old Town zone. We repeated all of our steps from laying down the surfaces, the core of the sidewalks, the cobblestone roads, the decals. We added character to our town by plastering most of the walls with colorful murals and graffiti. We also availed of the space to both function and enchant, with parking access widely available and green spaces adorning every street corner and nook of this entire area. We followed our prop detail patterns with lamps and bollards and benches and trees on every street and on every courtyard. We left no stone unturned. The Old Town area is officially complete. Alright, so here we are. Our old town of inner city center Concordia is officially complete. And to really add the cherry to the cake, I want to create our first tram lines going through the old town. And sure enough, it's a small enough area, but we do have actually 4 stops going through here. So the first one is Merchant Road tram stop that we have here. This is the one offering access to the kind of pedestrian commercialized mall. I don't know, is it a mall though? Please let me know in the comments down below, because like I always imagine a mall is like a supermarket, but this is like an open space kind of commercial area. I put the Polish word that I have in mind for it. The Polish word is deptak. If you have Polish audience and you know what to call this other than just using the urban language of pedestrianized zone, let me know down below. Then we have the main square stop here. It says Concordia Key. You know I love naming my streets different things, and honestly I think once we finish this whole island we can go over the names of the streets. This is probably gonna change after the next episode because I have something special planned for you guys. We have our Market Square stop, and then we have our school stop over here on Merchant's Way, which maybe I will rename to School Road because I think School Road is here. Alright, so we are gonna put it in. We're gonna do just very basic, like a road goes off here, like this. The tram depot goes here, tram tracks get put onto the road here. Beautiful. Don't be guided by anything you see here. This is all going to change. This is not gonna be here. I'm just putting it here now because I need the trams and I'm not working on that area right now. So we're gonna put our lines. We're gonna do a clockwise and a counterclockwise line, going from our Merchant Road, Main Square, Market Street, School Street, and back to Merchants Road. And we are gonna give it a beautiful sky blue color. We're gonna name it the Old Town Loop Clockwise. We're gonna reduce the ticket price because we play without money. So easy peasy. Why pay if it can be free? And we do the same thing going backwards like this. And same thing here. Beautiful sky blue color, Old Town Loop, counterclockwise, and free tickets. Perfect. That's it. So now that we have that done, let's move on to the next point of the video. So we're gonna take some artsy photo shoots with like transition shoots or like sunrise sunset shots. You might have seen some of that in the open shots for the video. I really enjoyed taking these little artsy shots, like night shots and stuff like that, accelerated footage where you see like the cars and the pedestrians and the trams just zooming by. I think that's so cool. So this is where I really wanted to have the trams, not because they function well, because they look cool. You know, I'm very like heavily focused on aesthetics, I guess. All right, let's get on to it. Alright, I hope you liked it, my friends, and here we're saying goodbye with some cool sunset shots of our wonderful Concordia. Let me know if you like this little like artsy little movie thingy I've done. I've been developing my editing skills and I've been really enjoying taking like nice little atmospheric photos of the town as it expands. So I think like maybe we can make it a thing every time that we finish like a large zone. We can make a little movie about it. Let me know if you like it, if you would do something differently, or if you have any suggestions. I'm always open for it. In the meantime, next time we are gonna look at our main arterial here. I have a couple of ideas for it, a couple of challenges that I already see too, because I do want to have my own custom markings like we did in the other series. It's gonna be hard to get it done here where the key is at, but I might have a solution for this. It's a little bit unorthodox, so stay tuned. But the next episode is gonna come out in 2 weeks' time. So next Monday, I'm taking a hiatus because I've been rushing with these episodes so quickly, and next week is my best friend's birthday, so I won't be here. So 2 weeks, there will be the next episode, and I need to build it because the all of Old Town I kind of like build out rapidly in one session, and then one week long session, and then this happened. So I still need to kind of plan it, test it, and do a lot of stuff. So 2 weeks I need for the next episode. Monday, in 2 weeks time, it should be ready. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching, you guys. If you like this episode, like, subscribe, drop a comment, let me know that you're watching, and I hope I'll see you in 2 weeks time for the next one. Bye bye.